Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at these products here. This is the DEDC Sunshade for your Tesla Model 3. Not only for your windshield, but also for that big glass roof on top of the car. Hit that subscribe button, stay tuned. We're going to do some unpacking. All right, everybody, well, welcome back. So like I was saying, we got this really cool product sent to us by DEDC. So these are the Sunshades for your Tesla Model 3. So not only for your glass roof, which you can put up and leave at all times, but then also when you park your car, you can throw in the windshield one to keep the sun rays out of your vehicle and keep your car even more cool than it already is. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this product here. So we have two bags here. One is for the roof shades, one is for the windshield shade. So let's take a look and see exactly how these look. All right, so let's start with the obvious one here, which is the windshield one. So we're just gonna take this out, and it's got a nice, you can feel it's got a nice steel frame to it. Oh, so there we go. So it just pops open, and there we go. So yeah, we've got a nice windshield shade here. On the opposite side, you can see that it is a reflective material to reflect as much of the sun rays out as you possibly can. And looks like it's got this nice cutout right here with a Velcro strip. And this is what's gonna go up and around the mirror area. So this is what's gonna actually hold it up against the window. And it's got this nice piece right here on the edges, a nice like cloth kind of material to keep everything from, you know, scratching the inside of your interior when putting this up. So that's kind of really nice. I like this very much. And the other cool thing is it comes with these nice storage bags as well. So once you figure out how to, you know, bend these into their proper shapes again, you can get them back in their storage bag there. So that is for the windshield. Now let's take a look at the roof one. All right, so now there are two pieces for the roof, and it once again comes in this really nice bag here. So let's go ahead and unzip this bag. So, okay, here we go. So interesting. We'll take a look at what that is in a second. And we've got these two pieces right here. Sort of looks like a butterfly. I'll just unfold this real quick. Let's see how that works. All right, so there we go. So there is one of the pieces right there. So really nice. As you can see, it's sort of see-through as well. So it looks like it's pretty good color as well. I like the color of it. It's designed to match the interior of the vehicle, so it's not, you know, standing out completely different from like what your roof would be if you didn't have a glass roof. So really like that. All right, I'm gonna put this in the car, then we'll look at the other one. All right, another smaller butterfly here. So let's go ahead and unwrap that. So once again, same thing, different shape, obviously, because the two different pieces of the glass roof are a little bit different shapes and sizes. So got another piece here. Once again, same exact color. The edges has this nice cloth to them, so this way it's, you know, protective. It's not going to scratch any part of your interior. Really, really nice. I like that. So let's put this in the car. And now we have this here, which let's take a look at what this is real quick. Okay, so here we go. So this is actually to cover up those shades for the roof if you wanted to use a more reflective material here, as you can see, to reflect more light out of it. So if for some reason you wanted to reflect extra light out of the vehicle, you can actually use this material right here instead of just using the sunshades themselves. And yeah, that's kind of a nice thing to see, is that, you know, it gives you the option. You could just slide the shades into this, and then that'll give you a little bit extra. All right, so after you unpack everything, you're gonna have a few pieces here. You're gonna have this piece here that has the reflective on one side and the black on the other. And then you're gonna have your interior colored shades that go up. And what you do is you actually have to attach these pieces here to those pieces there, the Velcro. And so once you Velcro these pieces, you can see just this little piece of Velcro right there. So once you get these pieces Velcroed to that, you then have to get them set up into the ceiling of the vehicle. And then you have to put these little clips on it. And so these little clips is what holds it inside the headliner of your interior. So it looks pretty straightforward. It looks like it's going to take a few minutes to kind of get everything situated. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this and see how we need to get these done. All right, well, here is one of them finished with the backing on it. As you can see, it's got the reflective side on this side. So this is going to be the side that goes up towards the roof of the vehicle, so it actually starts reflecting the heat coming from the sun. So yeah, there we go. So we got this piece done. So now all we're going to do now is get in the car, get these put up into there, use those clips to basically secure it into place, and then we'll take a look and see how it looks. All right, well, chilling here in the back seat, what we're going to do is we're going to take this one here. We're just going to put it up into the ceiling area, and we're going to take one of these clips and we're just going to grab the edge, put it up into the roof just like that. Easy enough. All right, that appears to be the back one done. I only used 4 clips in this one because I feel like the front is going to need a lot more because of its, you know, its size, and that it's got actually 4 different sides up there, whereas this one you can't clip the back of it because it's just up against the rear window there. So we're going to go ahead and move to the front one and see how that looks. All right, now we're in the front, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing here. So we're just going to take one of these clips to start, and we're going to put it right here. And I think what we're going to do is take this one and put it right here, and we're just going to put it up, line it up with the roof there. Get those clips in. All right, well, we got the windshield shade in, we got the front shade up here in, and we also got the rear shade in. So let's jump in the car real quick and take a look at how this looks. So as we sit in the car, we can see it's a lot darker in here. Got the windshield one in there, looks good. This one above the driver and passenger seat look pretty good as well. It has a little bit of, you know, it's not so tight up here. We got a little bit of extra fabric kind of hanging, but honestly, it's not too bad. We do have the reflective fabric on the opposite side to help reflect the heat and the rays away from the car. Now, of course, you could install this without having to put that reflective one in there as well, and you probably would get some light through here. In case you don't like a dark interior like this will make it, you could probably just put this piece up there, the fabric piece, and that would help reflect some of the light away, but it would allow some light to still come through so you could see a little bit through the fabric. And then, of course, back here, we could see the rear one. The rear one fits really well. Once again, just a little bit of play in the material, but honestly not too bad. We got our clip set. We got one back here in this corner on both sides. We got one up here on both sides, and then we got a single one in the middle holding this. And this seems really, really good. Perfectly situated. I have to drive the car and see how I feel about this. It does come back quite a bit to the back window here, or down the back window. So I want to see how that looks when I'm driving, to see if it's something that I like. There really is no way for you to be able to, you know, like lift this up, because there's nothing to, you know, mount it with. So I'm not really sure how this is going to be in the back window, but I want to drive the car for a few days first and see how it is. In the meantime, what I'd like to do is get into the front and kind of show you more about the windshield one. All right, and now here we can see the windshield one. Now the windshield one is really the one that you kind of just take on and take off whenever you really need to. When you get to work for the day, if you're stopping at the mall for a couple hours, this is the one that you need to take on and take off real quick. So it actually is pretty simple. This doesn't get mounted to the windshield at all. It literally just Velcros around the mirror here, as you can see. So they uses the mirror as support to hold it, and then it just kind of gets wedged up into these corners here, pushed up against the interior, and then it sits down into the crevice of the dashboard. And of course it has this little bit of fabric play in the middle there. And as you can see, it does a pretty good job of covering up the entire windshield. I could probably do a better job of getting it more to the edges, but I just kind of threw it in there. Like most people would do, because you're not going to spend, you know, 5 minutes trying to put this in your windshield every time you stop the car just to get out of the car for, you know, 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So, looks really good. Fits really well. All right, everybody, so there we go. So we got them installed in the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and give this a few days to test them out in the sun, see how much more they reflect the rays, the heat out of the vehicle. Now, I do have my in-cabin overheat protection enabled in this car, and I'm curious to see how much longer it can go without having to kick that on. So not only is this going to help increase the efficiency of the vehicle, save some battery, potentially just keep the cabin cooler, you know, so this way you're not getting the rays directly into the cabin and on top of your head and whatever. You know, sometimes that can get you really hot, especially if you're on a long trip. So I'm really curious to see how this works over the next couple days, so let's make sure you stay tuned, and let's take a look at exactly how this is going to end up after that. All right, everybody, well, it's been about 2 weeks now since we put the DEDC window shades in the Tesla Model 3. And I will admit that they do make a little bit of a difference when it comes to driving in the vehicle and having your climate control on. It does help reject some of the rays that come through the roof, keeping you a little bit cooler, keeping the cabin a little cooler, and it does definitely make a difference there. Now, if you're thinking that this is going to somehow keep your cabin cool all day long while it's out in the sun, well, not really going to happen. Just to tell you about this car, I have ceramic tint on all the windows of this vehicle, and I have this DEDC on the roof panel, and yet the car still had to use the cabin overheat protection in the middle of the day. Now, keep in mind, we're approaching probably the mid-90s here in South Carolina while I was doing this testing. So it is still very hot outside. But really, I think the purpose of these is just to keep you cool while you're in the car and driving along. And so I have to admit that for that purpose, it makes a lot of sense. And it probably does help a little bit with your efficiency by not having the sun come through your roof and heating up the cabin. Now, the other thing that I was mentioning before is that back window there. I was a little concerned that the view out the back window was not going to be very good because of how far down it comes. I'll be honest with you, it never bothered me a single time. Not a single time did I have to look back and not see something that was there. That view that you see right there is plenty for you to be able to do whatever it is that you need to do while staring at the back window. So I really have no concerns about how far back that comes down on the back window. It hasn't been an issue. If I look through the rear view mirror, I do see the shade a little bit at the top, but other than that, it really isn't all that bad. It doesn't really cut off any important parts of looking behind you. So I really have no concern with that. I gotta say, I like the product. I think my biggest gripe with this product is the fact that it's a two-piece. So you have the fabric piece, that's your interior color, and then you have the rejection side with the reflective material on it that reflects it out. And the fact that you got to put those together with the Velcro, it's a little cumbersome. However, on the other side, you do have the option to take that rejection side off and just have this fabric side. And this way it lets a little bit more light into the cabin, and then you have an option of having one or the other. So it's really up to you whether or not you like this system where you have a two-piece where you could take the reflective side off, or if you would rather just have one piece what has the reflective side, one, and then the other side of that would be the headliner material color. So it's really up to you, but I really think that's kind of the weirdest thing about it, right? You have to, you know, take this piece out, you have to separate the two pieces, and then if you want to put it back, you got to Velcro that piece back on. I think it could be a little cumbersome, but of course this is not something that you're going to be changing out every day. It's probably something you're going to be doing maybe once a year, twice a year, technically, if you're putting it on and taking it off. So really, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But that would be my only gripe with this product, is that. But overall, I'd like to say that it does the trick. It does what it needs to do. Once again, it's not going to keep your cabin cool in the direct sunlight all day long, but when you're driving, it will help with your efficiency and keeping the cabin a little bit cooler without having the sun blasting through the roof. I'd like to thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you're interested in this product, there'll be a link down in the description below. And of course, you could click on that to get more information about the DEDC Tesla Model 3 or Model Y window shades. And I'd like to thank DEDC for sending this out to me for their review, so I appreciate that. Thanks again for watching today's episode, and remember, welcome to the future, and welcome to Tech Motoring. And we'll see you on the next episode.